We are just 2 weeks away. Welcome to part 6 of my Speed Puzzle World Series coverage. I started this series months ago and there was a lot of questions at the very beginning, but the organizers have been great. We've gotten so much information from them. There are still a few questions to be answered, but we can't know that until we are sitting in the competition room. It's felt like a long time and not a long time, but with just, like I said, a couple weeks left to go, let's just focus now on the competitors. In this video, there's not going to be any predictions. That video will be released closer to the final few days before the event. There are still 11 spots at the time of this recording, 11 spots left to fill out of the 340 tickets. 329 in total, I guess, have been sold so far. I just want to wait as long as possible just in case there's a last minute addition before I make my predictions, but you can let me know in the comments who you think will be crowned champion. Before I go into a breakdown of the countries and competitors at this event, in very general terms for this one, there's no specifics for this video. Make sure to click subscribe. There is still more content about the World Series coming up in the next few weeks. There is a few Puzzled and Chatty International editions where I will be speaking with some of the top contenders that will be participating at the World Series that haven't featured on this channel already. What else is there? I will have a prediction video. Hopefully there will be some content released while I am at the Speed Puzzle World Series. That being said, it's a busy 2 days, but there's a lot going on in there, especially now, though, with the new Creator Challenge with the Speed Puzzle World Series. I do have a little bit more motivation to be posting stuff. Make sure you go and follow my Instagram page at Canon Puzzle. Engage with all my World Series content on there. That can help me out. It really can. And as always, make sure to click subscribe for this one. I am so close to that 1,000 follower. I keep saying follower. That 1,000 subscriber mark. YouTube is subscribers. Instagram is followers. It'd be nice if it was just the same all the way across. I digress. That's probably not going to help. Oh well. Follow on both. Subscribe on both. Do whatever you want. Help. This is the third video I'm recording today, and I probably should have done this one first. There's a lot more statistics in this one and numbers, so I'm going to be reading a lot more from this. It's also why I can't really think straight too much. Think straight too much. What am I doing? I am a disaster. I'm just going to get into this as quickly as possible. I'm going to be reading more from this, like I said, because there is more numbers involved with it. I do like numbers. I like stats. A lot of puzzle people do. I do want to see the breakdown. This is a World Series, so I'm going to be focusing on the world aspect. Is this a World Series or is it just a somewhat bigger European Championship? That's kind of what I want to look at while doing this, and to kind of understand how the participants are represented, both by their country and by previous big results. What I mean by that, have they attended international competitions recently? So this is being recorded on April 13th. So all information is based on that day. At the time of this recording, 329 out of the 340 possible tickets have been sold. By the time this gets posted, who knows, those could be gone. That leaves just over 3% of tickets remaining. I do expect those to be sold by the time this starts, because it's being hosted in Germany, probably by German competitors. But as you will see in this video, Germany is very well represented already. So if any other country, specifically Canada, that would be lovely. There's only 5 of us. But any other countries, especially if you don't see your country on the competitor list, which can be accessed on the website, the link is below. As many countries as possible being represented at the World Series would be great to see. So right now, there are 38 different countries that are being represented from every continent, except Antarctica, obviously. But if a penguin does show up, I'm clearly rooting for the penguin. Even over me, the penguin can win. Unlikely, but hey, you never know. So the continental breakdown then is by far Europe with 267 of the 329 participants. So right off the bat, then it kind of answers the question. This is more of a European championship plus a few other countries being added in there, but that was always going to be the case. That was the easiest thing to predict right from the start. It is over 5 times more representation than the next continent. So while this is not surprising, if there are more World Series in the future and the locations change to not being in Europe, it will be interesting to see if those numbers fluctuate or if Europe just sends the most amount of people. The next most represented continent is North America. However, with 42 participants, however, of those 42, 37 of them are from the US. Now, there are 5 Canadians. Yay. That being said, 2 of them also live in the US. One of them lives in France. There's me, who does live in Canada. And then there's one more. I cannot confirm their location as to which country they live in. I do think they live in Canada, but I don't know. So at best, there's 2 people coming from Canada. The rest of the North American representation are from the States, and 1 person from France. I'll talk about country specifics in a second, but while I'm talking about North America, the US is the second most represented country at the World Series. There's a few factors that I can consider in this, but even though they are the second most well represented, I am not suggesting that the World Series move to the US next year. You could easily have this in Canada and still have a huge influx of Americans coming up. I know for a fact there would be a ton of Canadians that would sign up for the World Series as well. You would get more from Mexico and the South American countries as well. Caribbean countries would potentially come up more to Canada. This is my pitch for Canada to be the host of the World Series. That being said, it would be interesting to see this in the future if, as I mentioned, would Europe still be as represented if it wasn't being held in Europe? But well done to the Americans. They travel very well for big competitions, I guess. 37 of them, plus the 2 Canadians. That's in the States, 39 people coming from the US. Well done. Now, the third most represented continent is Australia or Oceania, whatever you were taught to call it, with 11 people over 2 countries. So there might be some influence here due to the fact that the 2 organizers are also from Australia, and the other country, New Zealand, sending representatives as well. And rounding out the remainder of the continents, we have 4 South Americans, 3 from Africa, which is technically just South Africa because that's the only country that is sending representatives, which was a little bit surprising. I thought we might have seen like Egypt or something have at least 1 participant, but no, we have 3 South Africans representing the continent of Africa, and two people from Asia as well, representing 2 different countries. Again, Europe being the most well represented, not surprising. When we break this down by country, it does get a little bit more interesting once we get past some of the big countries. Starting off with the most represented, and again, no surprise, they're hosting the event, and that is Germany with 58 participants. So just Germany all by itself has as many as all of North America is sending, plus Australia and Oceania. Almost Germany is representing as many as the rest of the world outside of Europe. And I expect, as I said, with 11 tickets left to go, that German number will probably go up a couple more spots. In this inaugural year, ticket sales probably matter the most. You need the attendance, you need to bring the credibility, you need to get people there to see that this can work. Depending on the success of the event, I could see or hope to see caps or initial caps on tickets for different countries. It doesn't count this year. This year, absolutely fine. But for future countries, for instance, if the US were to host this in a future year, those tickets would be gone instantly by Americans. It would essentially just be a second US nationals in the same year. So initial caps on countries, I think, might end up being a factor to consider. It really depends on which country is hosting it. But who knows? We'll see how this develops. As mentioned, the second most represented country is the US with 37 participants. That again, that is a lot considering they are crossing an ocean to participate in this. We then have quite a drop in numbers after that, but that's not bad. With 16 participants, we have the Netherlands, which is not really surprising. Netherlands tends to show up for these, and they're somewhat close to Germany already. Sweden also has 16, which is a little bit more surprising. So they're tied for third most. Not to be outdone, though, Finland is just one behind Sweden with 15 participants. I'm liking that little Nordic rivalry that can be forming there. And also with 15 participants, we have Spain, which is... I'll come back to Spain. We have 15 participants from Spain and from Switzerland. Switzerland, a little bit surprising. I like to see the turnout from there. Again, it's connected to Germany, so not overly surprising, but Switzerland's not huge. But Spain is very interesting because at the World Championships, we always see Spain heavily, heavily represented, but they host it, as we know. So just moving from one country to another significantly impacted those numbers. So maybe it doesn't even need to be Germany next year. It can be hosted in a different European country that's not maybe as well known for puzzling. Puzzlers will travel. The powerhouse puzzle nation of Poland has 13 participants. The Czech Republic, Belgium, and France all have 12. Slovenia with 11 and the UK with 10. Estonia, love to see Estonia show up, has 9 participants. And our first non-European country, excluding the States, is Australia with also 9 participants. So there's a lot of countries already being showcased. And I want to make sure everyone is recognized, so I'm going to go through the rest of the countries on here. If you don't hear your country name, or if it's going to come up here soon, that means it's a lower participant number. But especially, again, if you don't hear your country name and you're kind of on the fence about it, sign up. You have a few weeks to still do it, and 11 tickets left. They will get sold. So the remaining countries we have is Slovakia, coming in with 8 participants, Hungary and Romania with 7, Denmark and Lithuania with 6, Canada with 5, Portugal with 4, and then South Africa and Norway with 3. And the last few countries, with 2 participants for each of these, we have Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Argentina, Brazil, and New Zealand. And then with just 1 representative so far, we have Croatia, Greece, Iceland, India, Indonesia, Luxembourg, and then we have 1 participant registered as an independent neutral. Whenever I see those countries with just 1 participant, my mind automatically goes to the Olympics, where it's just 1 person walks in, someone from Saudi Arabia competing in downhill skiing at the Winter Olympics. I always like that someone from those countries are there. So it's the more countries we can get, the better it is. Like I said, there's 38 countries represented. If you get to 40, I think that's a nice round number. So again, if you're on the fence about it, just go for it. The inaugural event. How can you miss it? Unless there's 11 Canadians out there that are also on the fence about this, there's still time. Get the tickets. Go. So that is the overview of the countries that are represented, but what do we know in general about the participants on an international level? So again, with just 11 tickets at the time of this recording, some people may be on the fence about if they're going to attend or not. And it might be because of the competition level. Yes, there are some very, very fast people going there, but what about the rest of them? Because not everybody can win. There's 329 people there. There's not 329 world champions. So once we look at all the numbers, again, if you're someone that likes to compete, it might push you just over that edge a little bit and you can get that ticket. So let's break this down. The first thing I did was look at the results from the most recent major international event, which was the World Championships in 2025. Of the 329 currently registered participants, 185 of them competed in the individual rounds. Of those 185, 164 of them moved on to the semifinals. So, yes, overall, there are going to be faster people at this event. But making the semifinals, it's not easy. But as I've said in other videos, right puzzle on the right day can get you to move on to the next round. 164 out of 185, which also means 21 people didn't make it onto the semifinals, and they will still be at the Speed Puzzle World Series. So good for them as well. Of those 164 people that did make the semifinals, 89 of them made it to the final round at the 2025 World Championships, with another 10 just missing out on making the finals by 10 spots or less. 35 of the top 50 from the 2025 World Championships are participating at the Speed Puzzle World Series. 15 of the top 20 are at the Speed Puzzle World Series, and this is the big one. 9 out of the top 10 top fastest puzzlers in the world from the World Championships of 2025 have already signed up. There is just one of the top 10 currently missing from the registration list. But that's a good turnout. 90% of the top 10. So yes, the fastest people will be at the Speed Puzzle World Series. At the World Championships in 2025, 182 people competed in the final round. 89 of them have signed up for the World Series. But that leaves some space open for people who might be looking to finish in that top 100 at the World Series. I think that'd be great. If I could finish in the top 100, I don't think that's going to be the case. But again, the right puzzles on the right days, and because luck is not really a factor in this with the puzzle choices, if you're consistent over those 6 challenges, there's potential for someone to do very, very well outside of those top 10, top 20, even top 50 participants finishers from the World Championships. And like I just said, luck is a factor that's been essentially removed because everyone's doing the same puzzles, and it's a range of different styles of puzzles and even brands. I'm one of the people who finished just outside of qualifying for the finals at the World Championships. If I was in the third semifinal round instead of the first one, there's a much higher chance I might have moved on to the finals. That being said, if I was in the second qualifier instead of the first, I'm probably 20 spots out at least from making it to the finals because of the different puzzles and the styles. Not because I think I deserve to be in the finals or deserve to miss the finals. It just depends on the puzzle you get at that time. And I can say the same about a few other people that finished within those first, second, third, within 10 spots really of qualifying for the finals. So yeah, you never know. You get the right puzzles, you're in it. Now, to have a fuller picture of the participants, because as I mentioned, 185 of the 329 people participating attended the 2025 World Championships. There's still 144 people remaining after that, and it's unlikely that all 144 just randomly decide to sign up for their first speed puzzle competition, especially at an international level. So because some people attended the 2024 World Series and not the 2025 World Series, and they were somewhat similar in terms of setup, and some of the puzzles were very similar, but I can use that to compare as well. It's still an international event. It's a world championship event. So of those 144 people that are remaining that did not attend the 2025 World Championships, 30 people attended the 2024 World Championships. Of those 30 people, 18 of them made the semifinals, so just over half, and a further 7 of them made the finals. So again, this is just people who attended the 2024 and not the 2025. So we do have some strong competitors who just didn't attend, who didn't go to Spain last year. But only about, again, half of them made the finals, and it was a bit tougher to make the finals in 2024. I will give them that, but we do have some experienced puzzlers. I didn't go back further and check 2023 or earlier than that. The speed puzzle world has changed significantly in those 2 years. Maybe there's someone I'm missing that did 2023 and not 2024, 2025, but I apologize if I've missed them. Then, as this competition is made up of a lot of Europeans, I also checked the results from the 2025 European Jigsaw Puzzle Championship for the remaining 114 names, because odds are if they went to a championship and not Worlds, it was going to be the European Championships. However, of those 114, only 16 remaining people attended the European Jigsaw Puzzle Championship, and 11 of them made the finals. So again, it's over half for sure, but it's not everybody. That leaves 86 participants that have no major in-person, I didn't look at virtual stuff, no major in-person international competitions recorded, or at least not since 2024, of the big competitions. Now, a lot of these people have attended their own national competitions. I didn't really include those because outside of a select few countries, they're not unreleased puzzles, so it's hard to compare for instance, Canada, the US, the UK, unreleased puzzles for all their rounds. Recently, one country had the Disney and Pixar color palette puzzle for their individuals. I don't think that's a fair comparison when you're looking at options, or when you see some countries show up with a postcard or such in their finals. It's just not an equal comparison. So I didn't include the national competitions in this kind of general overview. I think just some final thoughts to take away from this is that, again, if you are not sure if you want to go, there's going to be people in every round, potentially myself included, based on how some of my training is going. There are going to be people in every round that will not finish the puzzle in the given amount of time, which is fine. There are people that will be very upset if they don't finish in that amount of time. But if you're on the it's an inaugural international event. As a disclaimer, which I've usually included at the start, but I didn't this time, as a disclaimer, I am not associated with this event at all. I am not benefiting from this. I am not part of the organization of this. I am not promoting the event in any way to help the organizers. This is all on my own. It is purely for my own interests, something to do. I joined the speed puzzling world well after the World Championships have started. This is the first time a huge event that I'm also participating in is taking place for the first time. So that's kind of why I'm following through on all of this. And I think the fact it's the inaugural event is kind of what's pushing me to cover this a little bit more than I normally would. The Canadian Nationals are coming up soon. I won't cover them as in detail, even though I live 30 minutes from where it takes place. I will most likely be at the World Championships in Spain this year. Maybe I will be doing a bit of coverage leading up to that, just because of the year-on-year comparison will be interesting, and potentially the last time it's in Spain. But again, if you're just not sure, and especially if you live in Europe, you're super close anyways. Buy the ticket. It's a one-off. Experiencing it. The first event is very rare in this case, and there's going to be people of all ability levels when it comes to this. From my experience within the speed puzzle community, no one's there to judge whoever comes in last. I've mentioned this in previous videos. Once those cameras, when you're at these competitions and the camera's on you, and if you're one of those people that are just 5-10 pieces away and it's counting down those final 10 seconds, a lot of people find that much more exciting than the majority of the rest of the live streams, and everyone is cheering for those people. And if you just miss it and you don't get that last 1 or 2 pieces in, everyone's there to congratulate you anyways. So this is a final pitch for those last few tickets, if there's still any by the time this is posted. Go for it. Take the chance. And that is it for this video. Go and watch the rest of the parts in this series. Catch up with what I've done on this channel already. There is still more to come. Some interesting interviews by some of the competitors. Maybe a surprise special guest as well before the event takes place. Like I said at the start of this video, I've been covering this quite a bit since it was announced. When we didn't know anything about it and it was a random website going, please give us information about yourself, but we can't tell you why. Right up until now, with about 2 weeks to go before the big event takes place. Don't really know what I'm going to do after this is done in a few weeks, but hey, Canadian Nationals comes soon after that. Follow my training and other people's training, but follow mine specifically on my Instagram page at @puzzle. Yeah, it's been quite the few months. That is it for this video. Click subscribe, like the video, leave comments below, questions. What do you want to see covered in these final few weeks? That's a good question. I'll probably post it on my Instagram. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, but that's it. As always, happy puzzling. Bye.